President Trump eats Gavin Newsom up and spits him out. I mean, this guy comes down hard on the failed governor of California. Thank you so much for joining me today. California, the state which suffers from the worst wildfires, is being led by the most incompetent people ever. A literal child would understand that a state prone to these issues needs widespread access to water. But Governor Gavin Newsom and his cabinet have made the stupid decision to restrict access. President-elect Donald Trump bashed Gavin Newsom for refusing to sign the Water Restoration Declaration by stating, Governor Gavin Newsom should immediately go to Northern California and open up the water main and let the water flow into his dry, starving, burning state, instead of having to go out into the Pacific Ocean. It ought to be done right now. No more excuses from this incompetent governor. It's already far too late. Now, according to a report posted by the LA Times, the Santa Ynez Reservoir, which holds $117 million, was shut down before the fires erupted, like nearly empty. And the water that was being used by the LA Fire Department, there were 3 tanks that each hold 1 million gallons of water. And this reservoir holds 117 million gallons. I mean, wow. Now, a former Department of Water and Power stated, it's unclear when the reservoirs first went offline. It's been out of service for a while due to a tear in the cover, and that DWP's vast storage and supply infrastructure still provide water to residents without disruption. Well, until this week. So they have 3 million gallons of water that they are able to use, and they literally burned through it trying to put this fire out. Meanwhile, a reservoir with 117 million capacity sits empty. Let me go ahead and show this to you.
This was supposed to be the water to put out the Palisades fire. This is the Santa Ynez Reservoir. It's the water supply basically for the Palisades. When they first started fighting the Palisades fire, they ran out of water extremely quickly. Wednesday, 3 a.m., they were basically out. And there's been a lot of talk on why this happened. So how long has this reservoir been empty for?
Since February of last year. There was no communication from the Department of Water and Power to LAFD that there was a water supply issue.
The firefighters, when they started fighting the fires, no one informed them that the reservoir was empty.
This reservoir holds 117 million gallons of water. The fire department was using a water supply from 3 backup tanks, each one only holding 1 million gallons of water.
They say it's closed for maintenance to repair the lid that's on top of it. I don't know a lot about reservoir maintenance, but there's literally no construction materials or vehicles anywhere in sight. Also, with a reservoir like this, you can refill it or start to refill it. So another question is, if they saw the Santa Ana winds were coming and we have this remarkably dry wet season, why was there no attempt to start refilling it back up? I know I threw a lot out there, but I think we need some answers, guys.
All right. Wow. The fire department was kept in the dark. The very material that they need in order to do their jobs was gone, and nobody told them. I'll get to why nobody told them. Now, in a series of posts on X, President Trump continued to blast Newsom over and over again. Let me share one of those with you. As of this moment, Gavin Newsom and his Los Angeles crew have contained exactly 0% of the fire. It is burning at levels that even surpassed last night. That is not government. I can't wait until January 20th. No water in the fire hydrant, no money in FEMA. This is what Joe Biden is leaving me. Thanks, Joe. Now, I think some of this is just incompetence. A lot of it is incompetence, but some of this is on purpose. They are leaving chaos. They are leaving drained bank accounts, drained water reserve tanks. They are leaving Trump with so many messes. But guess what? I am confident that President Donald J. Trump will be able to handle these problems, It's not going to be overnight, but they will be handled. This man hates seeing Americans suffer, while Democrats, they don't give a damn whether you suffer or not. Now, let me know over in the comments, do you have confidence that President Donald J. Trump can get these problems fixed and then put mechanism and policy into place to help avoid those in the future? If you do, I want you to type Y. And if you don't, I want you to type N for no. Now, embarrassingly, Governor Newsom immediately responded to Trump by stating, "You don't believe in climate change. You are excused from this conversation." Now, is Newsom really trying to argue that a person should have no voice if they don't believe in climate change? Like, really? Now, regardless of Trump's views on climate change, he still understands the threat of wildfire seemingly more than the man who believes in climate change. So what's more important? Someone who says, I don't know if I fully believe in that, but I'll be prepared for it. And the other guy who says, I fully believe in it so much that I'm going to leave everybody at risk of it ruining their life. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, let me put this up on the screen. Okay, now, Gavin Newsom said a ridiculous lie. This is talking about lowering the budget. He said, what a ridiculous lie. We have doubled the size of our firefighting army, built the world's largest aerial firefighting fleet, and increased the forest management tenfold since taking office. Time to serve these folks with the facts, right? Now, he got fact-checked because the 2024-2025 California state budget signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom reduced funding by $101 million. Despite this, California Fire's wildfire protection budget surged from $1.1 billion in 2014 to $3 billion. So yes, it has gone up over the time frame that Newsom has been in, but just recently they cut it by $101 million. They rerouted water away from Los Angeles back into the ocean. They have over 100 fire vehicles that are damaged and inoperable because they don't want to pay for the mechanics to fix them. I mean, it's just a really, really bad situation. Unbelievable. Now, Democrats will always have an excuse for why anything bad is happening under their name. Honestly, I've always viewed Newsom as a possible threat to the Republican Party because he could run for for president. But you know what? This is going to be really hard to recover from. Now, maybe the reason Newsom is dealing with this issue is because he ignores feedback from the right-wing politic voices. For instance, Republican commentator Charlie Kirk just laid out the exact steps Newsom needs to take to ensure this doesn't happen again. Charlie Kirk stated on Twitter, instead of cleaning the forest floors, removing dead trees, capturing rain runoff, and making sure California has water in the fire hydrants, Democrat politicians will instead deflect responsibility and blame the problem on climate change. This magical blame shifting allows Democrats to avoid accountability for their incompetence and mismanagement while wielding tyrannical power over voters, harassing them for cooking with gas ovens, forcing them to drive EV, meaning electric vehicles, but then not having enough electricity, charging them a carbon tax just for simply living. Human lives are not improved, they are destroyed. Cities lie in actual rubble, and taxpayers and insurance policyholders around the country are on the hook to clean up their failed far-left dystopian disaster. Unfortunately, this common sense packed post will likely never be read by Gavin Newsom or Democrats or anybody in power because they believe anybody on the right is an idiot and has bad ideas and is racist or a Nazi or a follower of Adolf Hitler. That simply isn't true. The Republican Party is the party of common sense. And the Democrat Party, honestly, I don't know what they represent anymore. All right, now, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to have more energy? Do you want to be healthier? Then you need to connect with Coach Brian at Body Boost by Brian for guidance on how to make and keep your New Year's health goals. Now, most people set a goal. I want to drink less, smoke less, lose weight, be better with my debt, get healthy. And then about 14 days in, they drop that. Well, we're right there. I got to tell you, though, I'm down 30 pounds. Losing weight has changed my life. I can feel it. I'm sleeping better. I feel less swollen. I'm not overeating. And it's been nice to have neighbors and family members tell me, hey, you look really good. Have you lost weight recently? Yeah, I've lost 30 pounds. Now, under Brian's app and coaching, I feel like I can finally reach my weight loss and health goals. I tried for years on my own. I felt helpless and continued to gain weight. Now, maybe you've tried losing weight and you failed or felt hopeless. I was right there with you. That's why I hired a coach and built all new health habits. And that's why I'm down 30 pounds. I feel so much better. Now, I want you to visit bodyboostbybrian.com to start feeling better today. Learn about Brian's different programs. One I like is the 6-week program to lose 20 pounds, but he has several and he'll uniquely craft them to your situation. I've even worked out a deal to save you money, and Brian has promised me that you will work with him directly, not one of his junior coaches. So make sure to mention that you saw this on the Stephen Gardner YouTube channel so that you can save money and get direct access to the same coach I use. Again, go visit bodyboostbybrian.com. That's bodyboostbybrian.com right now. All right, now I have found a video that might sum up this entire disaster in California in about 1 minute. Let me show that to you right now.
Powered by equity, and I know that it's been really important for the DWP to put an equity lens on everything.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the number one thing that attracted me to this role. Coming from the communities that I come, seeing what I've seen through my career in utilities and through the military. I've been in the Coast Guard 19 and a half years now, so I got 6 more months to qualify for my 20 years, which was my original goal.
Wow, congratulations, and
you.
thank you for your service.
Thank you. It's important to me that everything we do, it's with an equity lens and social justice and making sure that we right the wrongs that we've done in the past from an infrastructure perspective, and that we involve the community in that process. And this utility is serious about it, is authentic about it. And so I'm just super excited to be part of that movement.
So her number one focus as a person that makes $750,000 a year, more than 10 times the average American in a single year, her number one job fighting fire was to look at everything through an equity and social justice lens. So who knows? Maybe this is the reason for the fire. I'm not saying this lady is a bad human being. I'm grateful for her service in the military, but you make $750,000 a year, more than 10 times the average American, and you have one job: keep water on the land and water in the fire hydrants. But instead, you spent your time on social justice. You spent your time on equity, DEI, and now people have died because of your decision. You put the needs of the LGBTQ 2SA plus community over having water in fire hydrants. Don't you think that gay people, lesbians, bisexuals, transgenders, that if their house is on fire, they want water in those fire hydrants? It's not your job to fix how people react to other people's sexual situation. It's your job for $750,000 to make sure that there is water and water in the fire hydrants. Hey Siri, what's 750,000 divided by 12? $62,500 a month. Do you know how many Americans would love to make $62,500 a month? I guarantee you they would keep water on the land and in the fire hydrant system. Unbelievable. This is happening all over the world. Look at Boeing. Airplanes are having issues because of DEI. Walmart, DEI. Target, DEI. Dude, trust me. I think everybody from every racial or religious background should have the right to get a good job here. But we live in a meritocracy. You have to earn your way into a good job. You don't just get it because of the color of your skin. I would never want a job because I'm a white person or a Caucasian or because I come from British descent or something like that. I want it because I have the skills and I have the drive and I am the right personality and that I can do the job for my fellow Americans. Wow. Right from the horse's mouth, right? I see everything through equity and social justice. All right, let's move on from that. In the ongoing Donald Trump hush money case, Judge Juan Merchan yesterday sentenced Donald Trump to nothing, completely wasted his time, millions, tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer money for nothing. Judge Juan Merchan gave him an unconditional discharge, has been affirmed as appropriate. I impose it. It is my obligation to consider all aggravating factors already in my Sandoval ruling and other rulings. The protection afforded to the office of the president are not a mitigating factor, but they are a legal mandate. So he basically went on to do nothing after wasting tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer money. Now, this is the best case scenario for President Trump. User Bahizi on X explained the implications of the ruling by stating, an unconditional discharge is a sentence without imprisonment, fine, or probation supervision. According to the law, an unconditional discharge can be imposed when a judge is of the opinion that no proper purpose would be served by imposing any condition upon the defendant's release. It's basically a dismissal of everything. Now, thank goodness this case is finally over. Judge Merchan had wisdom finally to pull the plug. Representative Byron Donalds had this to say, no condition, no prison time, no probation, no fine, no punishment. This travesty of justice was overt lawfare, election interference, and a complete waste of time and money. There was never a case. The agency of jurisdiction wouldn't file suit. The star witness was a known liar. The judge donated to Biden. The judge's daughter is a Democrat money-raising operative. The number 3 in Biden's DOJ was brought in. He walked away from the White House in order to get Trump. The gag order was unconstitutional. And sentencing was 10 days before a presidential inauguration. This must never happen again. So he is calling for Judge Juan Merchan, Alvin Bragg, and others to be investigated for lawfare against a presidential candidate on behalf of the sitting president of the United States of America. Now, despite getting off without any prison time, President Trump claimed he will still take the time and money to clear his name through the appellate court. Trump stated, there was no case against me. In other words, I am innocent of all of the judge's made up fake charges. To this day, this highly political and corrupt judge has put a gag order on me, which takes away my First Amendment right to speak about very important aspects of the case. For the sake and sanctity of the presidency, I will be appealing this case, and I am confident that justice will prevail. Now, it's great to see how many Republicans had President Trump's back. I wish they had had that before, but in the end, they did, and it all ended up working out. Now, super lawyer Alan Dershowitz said this case will easily be appealed by President Trump And then Braggs and Mershon should be looked into for running a fake trial. You can sue anyone you want, but you can't sue without a legal, real issue. And that's where Dershowitz says this whole thing could come back on Braggs and Mershon and even Letitia James and others. This new reality was also shown during Mark Zuckerberg's recent interview on Joe Rogan. During the sit-down talk, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook exposed the Biden administration's pressure on Meta to censor users during the rollout of the vaccine program. Zuckerberg stated, "Now, I'm generally pretty pro rolling out vaccines. I think on balance, the vaccines are more positive than negative. But I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who was basically arguing against it. They basically pushed us and said anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down." Rogan then asked, "Who is they?" Zuckerberg added, "It was the people in the Biden administration. These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and scream at them and curse at them." Let's face it, if Trump lost, Mark Zuckerberg would likely have remained silent on this issue. I honestly believe the far left shot themselves in the foot by going too extreme. Now, Zuckerberg continues to hold erroneous opinions about vaccines, big pharma, HHS, and I'll tell you why. I'll sum it up in one reason: money. Facebook receives so much money. So even though he believes that there should be conversation on both sides of the debate, he ultimately sides with forcing it on people because he's being paid to say that. Whether he knows it or not, it might be something that's subconscious, right? Well, they do pay us well. I don't know that I want to go against them. Listen, I'm a teeny tiny news outlet, and Pfizer offered me $30,000 to lie that I had received the vaccine and to try to convince you, to persuade you to get this miracle shot. I never believed in it, and now I'm so against it. I'm so against it. I read so much data on a daily basis about how damaging it is to the brain, to the heart, to other parts of the body. I would never introduce my community to something I thought would hurt them. But guess what? Instagram and Facebook, they take in so much big pharma money. How could he not be biased? Unbelievable. All right, last two stories. The president of Greenland now says she's open to talking with President Trump about a relationship between the two nations. Whether it's a Commonwealth like Puerto Rico, a military-only relationship, or buying Greenland altogether, only time will tell. But it started off by saying, "You're not welcome. I'll never talk to you. Greenland is not for sale," to saying, "Welcome, President Trump. Come visit the island. Let's sit down and let's counsel on this together." Also, Gavin Newsom has now invited President Trump to come out to California and to please consider helping them financially to restore California to its greatness. Oh, man, everybody is bending to kiss the ring. Isn't that unbelievable? All right, I love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you like this video, give it a like, please. It helps me more than you know, because it tells YouTube and Rumble to share it with others. So that is one way you can help the channel. Also, hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 1.9 million amazing truth seekers. All right, I love you guys. Stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.